Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. My name's Heliax, and last time we finished up a couple of quests in Andra's Gift, and now we are here in the Sanatorium. I think that's what it's called, Sanitarium. We're in Brackenbury? And we had just turned in, or we got a scepter, the Ingwithan Scepter, which is okay. It's slightly better than the scepter he was using. I'm wondering if we should have accepted the money, though, even though it wasn't a terrible amount of money. But it is what it is. Nothing in there.
Hey.
Alright, now we're going to explore the rest of the sanitarium. I hope you guys are all doing alright today. I am doing okay myself, thanks for asking. I know you were all wondering. The painting of a rolling forest glen has a strangely soothing effect. Hit that. Down the stairs we go. Let's see what's in the bottom level of the sanitarium. And we'll probably be done exploring the city today, I imagine. Or at least this episode. I don't know, maybe not. But I think we'll be done with Brackenbury. So then we can finally just start knocking out quests and things like that. Now we do have to be mindful of this. We've only got a few more hours left before we really need to start heading back to Cadnua to defend it. So hopefully there's not a whole lot left to do in here. Modred. We've heard... That name sounds familiar. Modred. An animancer scribbles feverishly on a parchment scroll while his free hand dances through the air, counting off unseen objects. His lips move in silent discourse. As your shadow falls over his scroll, he looks up at you with mingled perplexity and irritation.
Gods keep you.
Can I help you? He forces a polite smile. What are you working on? Are you the animancer who's been buying relics from Emmett? Well, we know he's not, so we're not going to even ask that. What are you working on? My area of focus is wicks. More specifically, how to cure them. What's a wict? A hollowborn who received a transplanted animal soul during infancy. One of Animancy's early efforts to cure the legacy, if not a successful one. He removes his spectacles and wipes his brow. They show signs of developmental abnormalities throughout their childhood, but when they reach adolescence, they become aggressive, feral, but still victims in need of care. Transplanting animal souls into children seems like an odd solution. We animancers were trying to do something about the crisis, better than letting it swallow a generation of children. He stares at a fixed point on the far wall, and despite the controversy, it only went so far because, at first, it seemed to work. People called it the salvation. Children had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli Children that had never been responsive to any kind of stimuli suddenly seemed aware of their surroundings, of their families. He takes a slow breath. The complications don't begin until puberty, but that's when the incompatibilities between body and soul take shape. Children become violent, ravenous. But we paid dearly for our mistake, I promise you. Angry mobs hunted down animancers and burned down their homes, with them still inside often as not. People took to calling it the cruel salvation, and many still loathe us for it. But we wanted to stop the legacy as much as anyone. The public begged for our help, and we did the best we could. I still don't know if that absolves us. I mean, as long as you guys stopped once you realized it wasn't working, right? I feel like that's the big thing. You didn't keep going once you realized it didn't work. Why do you study wicks? He huffs. What kind of question is that? Just think of all the families that could be healed, the lives that could be restored. What could be more important? His face is reddened, and he turns away from you for a moment. He shakes his head. Animancy has an answer here. I know it. It's simply a matter of working it out. I see. He seems like a good person. Just looking around. Then be quick about it, and don't touch anything. The sanitarium has a lax visitor policy, but I don't. Without another word, he resumes his work. Okay. In a corner of Modred's lab rests a large, weathered trunk. It seems likely to contain something important, if only by virtue of its size. Examine the trunk. The lack of dust on the trunk's surface and the long scratches on the tile floor suggest that the trunk is frequently used and moved throughout the laboratory despite its considerable size. Deep yet narrow gouges score the wood at the edges of the trunk. They look like claw marks. Open the trunk. Does he have a wick in here? A heavy lock holds the trunk shut. It's too sturdy to break, and the mechanism looks too complicated to pick. You'll need to find the key. Leave the trunk alone.
How do you do?
Alright, can't ask him about what's in there. Alright, that's stealing. I guess. Unexpected results. The canine host was listless and unresponsive, but it was determined that this was simply the implanted feline soul. Yarn resulted in vigorous stimulation. I guess going into that chest in the first place would be probably stealing from the guy, so probably better that we don't find the key. No temptation. Belisage? I don't know. And it's gonna go. Her name's Bella. A woman paces back and forth, her feet crunching on the soft carpet. She gestures and mumbles to herself, shaking her head as she pores over pages of notes. She almost walks into you. A cozy? Here I am, looking so hard for answers in my research that I do not see the kith standing in front of me. What can I do? Yeah, I don't know. Excuse me, I'm sorry. What do you do here? According to my research, Grant, I study awakenings. Sublimating pre-awakened souls has been one of Animancy's greatest successes, and I am working on a method to replicate the process of awakened souls. She gnaws at her lip. But the truth is that I find few suitable subjects here. Widewind's legacy has left plenty of awakened souls, but most are too broken for study. She sighs. I fear I'll return to Revua with nothing to show for my efforts. I'm awakened. I've been recalling flashes of a past life. She scratches her chin. Most interesting, but not the kind of awakening I can study, I'm afraid. I need someone whose awakened soul can be triggered with predictable stimuli. Souls such as these tend to manifest as alternate personas in the host. She gives you a broad, if strange, smile. But I thank you for the offer. Something else you need? I'd like to know more about Animancy in the Valian Republics. It is a dynamic and respected field. Even the Balereach incident did little to slow it. She shrugs. People in the Republics are more accepting of risk, less superstitious, ready to try anything that shows promise. It's a shame that so many here are so hostile toward Animancy, but Animancy also has the potential to do great harm. I'm not sure whether the benefits outweigh the dangers. People should turn to the gods for answers. The gods help those who help themselves. Otherwise, we would all pray for our coppers. Goodbye. Okay. A big old cage here. And torture devices. I guess it's not torture. This strange device seems to thrum with power. I guess it's just like a restraint. It's just... You usually see restraints like that when you're torturing somebody, I suppose. Or maybe that's just me. I don't know. Sanitarium Guards. Okay. Oh, that's locked. So can't go in there. Nobody in here. Hello? Sometimes we get people in here trying to make trouble for the Animancers. You unlock it. Okay, so we can't go in there either. Alright, so that's it for the Sanitarium for now. I imagine we'll be making trips back here again. Mainly because I remember making trips back here again. But I don't really remember when that is, or why it is, to be honest. Guess we'll find out eventually. Alright, let's go see what the rest of this district has to offer us. Speed it up. There we go. I love this fast mode. It's great. Something that I thought Pathfinder was missing. Although I think you moved a little faster just on the base speed anyway than you do in this game's base speed. Some animancers. Alright, let's go down here. This is, what was it, Hadrit's house or something? What is this called? Hadrit house. Hello. Don't mind me, I'm just visiting, I suppose. This is what you do when you go to a new city, right? You just go into all the homes you find and introduce yourselves. Dunrid agent. We got stairs going up, it looks like. More agents. There's a person named Curran. A link, yes. I'm certain of it.
Well met, friend.
The Orland man is surrounded by books and scrolls. His wiry hair stands nearly on end, and his ears prick up as you approach. You carry whispers. Cadnua, Gilded Veil. Old voices indeed. What are you talking about? The Orland grins, revealing a row of dagger-pointed teeth. As a cipher, it's my job to know these things. You carry the whiff of ancients. What else can you tell me? His ears twitch downward. Not as much as I would like, unfortunately. My duties for Lady Webb require me to focus my talents elsewhere. He regards a table piled with scrolls. What brings you to Dunrid Row? It looks as though you could use some help. What are you busy with? Tell me more about your skills. I check for soul connections, looking for lost things, missing things, or troublesome things. Particularly where people of power and influence are concerned. I'm a cipher. In Irglanfath, we were once known as Brishogwyn, Mind Hunters. Nice title, yes, but it wasn't until the Animancers began working with my kind 40 years ago that we truly understood our power. Now we make some of the best detectives in the world, tracing souls. We can look at a person and see where they have been, or look at a weapon and see who has touched it. His nose twitches as he looks at you. Useful for solving crimes, as you can imagine. Seriously, how is there any crime? Like, make more of you guys. Is this, are ciphers people, are you born a cipher? Or can you be taught to be a cipher? Because if you can be taught to be a cipher, every government should be making use of this, I feel like. Then again, maybe every government does make use of this. It looks as though you could use some help. Karen wags a clawed finger. Not at liberty to discuss my work, unfortunately. Dunrid Row ears only. A civilian would need the confidence of Lady Webb before I could share. What are you busy with? His small, furry hands gesture expansively at the papers before him. Hollowborn, growing unrest, and the ever-present political intrigues. There's so many missing souls. Missing persons are the least of our concerns these days. Alright, well, good luck. Farewell. Can I look? No, it's stealing. Okay. Don't mind if I explore, do you? Stealing, okay. A group of notes speculate about the identity and location of a secret sect in Defiance Bay. Interesting. Either these notes are written in code, or the author's handwriting is atrocious. Could be both. Alright. What's this? Affixed to the wall are leads in the case involving apparently a caravan that disappeared en route to New Haemar. Man, this is like the detective's office here. Detective's headquarters. Coincidentally, this reminds me of my D&D group. We're playing through the Agents of Edgewatch campaign, where you play as detectives in Absalom. It's really cool. Some of these vintages are even older than Defiance Bay. Ooh. Maybe ask Miss Webb for some wine. The marble at the base has been worn smooth by the passage of hundreds of feet. Alright. I wonder if we can talk to Miss Webb yet. I remember she's pretty important in the game, but I don't remember if I can just go in and talk to her. The notes are scribbled in a cryptic shorthand. Stealing. Pictures of all manner of folk are pinned to this board alongside notes scribbled in an indecipherable shorthand. Yep. I think she's in there. So let's check this room first. Free book? No. Wow, this place doesn't give me any free things. It's terrible. Alright, can we go in? If Lady Webb wants to see you, she'll send for you. Okay. So we cannot talk to Lady Webb yet. Let's go on to the next place, which I think is the criminal family or the criminal noble family, something like that. The third faction, there's the Dozens, there's the Crucible Knights, and then there's these guys, I think.
You had 5 siblings?
That's right. Between the 6 of us, I don't think the house has known a single day's quiet. Of course, a little chaos makes it far easier to get away with mischief.
Yes, I can imagine that comes in handy.
There we go. The marble is cool and perfectly smooth. Droplets of crystal clear water bead the statue. Cool. What do we got over here? There isn't so much as a spot on these oranges. They've been properly gassed, huh? Alright. Never trust a perfect orange. Ark of the Gath. As you near, we'll reach out for the soul. You see a rocky clearing, overgrown with weeds. A crumbling wall cuts through on one side, and the trees reach toward each other overhead, blocking much of the light that would otherwise illuminate the body lying near the wall. The body belongs to an elf, face down in the dirt. His clothes are torn and ragged. Large bruises seem to cover him, and there are cuts, abrasions, and lacerations everywhere skin is exposed to the air. The elf twitches, a muffled cry escaping his lips, blowing dust around his head. He begins to moan, his hands scrabbling against the ground, fending off something you are unable to see. His breath comes faster and faster until he is almost hyperventilating. With one final sound, a swallowed scream, his eyes fly open. In an instant, he is on his feet, crouching, eyes wildly looking around. His breathing doesn't slow, and every exhaltation or exhalation is a groan. With one last look over his shoulder, the elf runs into the embrace of the crumbling wall's shadow, all but disappearing into the gloom. Looking down at his present condition, he murmurs, "I don't see how someone who so clearly screws his own livestock can be so sensitive about it." Huh. I feel like I missed something. What? I don't understand. Well, Orc, good luck with whatever you got going on in your soul. There's another couple of souls we'll have to read. Is this can I get over there from here? No. Okay. Let's go in here. Hello. Dominel Dorman.
Well met, friend.
The burly guard eyes you warily. I don't recognize you. What business do you have in House Dominel? Attack? I'm just here to loot the place and kill everyone in my way. That would have been a fun character to play, huh? One of these RPGs I play, I'm going to play an evil character who's just a dick to everybody. Tell me about House Dominel. It's an old and respected family. Much of Defiance Bay's prosperity is due to Dominel business activities. Now, do you have any further business here? Nope. I will see you out. Oh. Well, very well then. Suppose we're not welcome there. Fine. Alright. I guess we're going over here now. And we're gonna read these guys' souls. Rocco Francis Whitebrows. As you near, you feel yet reach out. You see a burly man inspecting a dilapidated inn. The Amawa salesman almost dwarfing him as they walk through the once proud establishment. The walls are rife with stains, and only Whale knows what else smeared on every available surface. Not one thing stands unbroken, and moth-eaten blankets, rotting food, and trash give evidence to a succession of squatters. The man frowns, scrutinizing the space. The Amoa gives him a final offer, flashing 2 white teeth with each syllable. Oversized and threatening. With a sigh and a jingle as he hands over the coin pouch, the man acquires the dump of an N and begins to plan. Oh, good for you, Rocco. Timothy Whitewater. You see this man kneeling naked before a dais in the center of a large round room. Across the room, opposite from where he kneels, stands a large throne. The throne's back and 2 of its legs are broken, rendering it unusable and causing it to tilt precariously on its stand. The room is ringed with figures clad in black robes, each chanting quietly, resulting in a low drone that pervades the room. On the dais, across the brazier, is another robed figure holding a leather-bound book with charred marks on it. He is speaking to the naked man about fealty, dedication, and law. When he finishes, he bids the other to rise and holds the book out to him over the burning coals in the brazier. The naked man nods, and the robed man drops the book into the fire. The naked man drops to one knee, briefly pressing his forehead to the side of the brazier, then stands and thrusts both of his hands into the coals at the bottom of the brazier. He retrieves the book, slowly presenting it to the robed figure before him. The man rubs his thumb on the ash that has collected on the cover of the book, and uses it to draw a mark on the naked man's forehead over the burned flesh. The naked man bows his head and whispers, "Was that right, Da?" The robed man nods patiently. The naked man looks to the broken throne with childlike eyes. "Did you see that, Mum?" Interesting. Some sort of ritual? Seems like a ritual to the Mogren, perhaps, with all the fire. Or the heat, rather. 2 more souls to read. Excuse me. Jalistra the Paulzerker? Stobar. Reach out. You see a dark room. Noise filters in through a nearby doorway. The sounds of battle, scuffling, metal on metal, cries of pain, rise and fall as their fight rages on outside. There is a bellow of rage, and a Zarup runs into the room, holding a book tightly against its chest. It looks around frantically, searching for something. It hurries to the far side of the room and opens a box sitting on a makeshift table. It places the book in the box, closes it, and then bends over to push the box under the table. A small stone hits the back of the Zarup's head, knocking it forward a little. The stone bouncing to the ground, rattling a little as it comes to rest on the floor next to the Zarup's foot. It freezes in place, hands still on the box, eyes wide. As the clattering of the stone quiets, silence takes control of the room again. The battle outside has stopped. It spins around to find this woman standing in the doorway, leaning on a savage-looking 2-handed sword. "That book contains the answers I need," she snarls at it, moving forward. It hisses, rushing to meet her. Seconds later, she is retrieving the stone from the floor, having separated its head from its neck, and with a practiced flick of the sword. Wait. Yes, okay. She smiles, kisses the stone, and then places it in a pouch on her belt, patting it fondly. Leaning over, she pulls the box from under the table and opens it, elated with her find. 1 second, need a sip of my water. Alright, I've done a lot of talking today, so my voice is a little tired, but I'm enjoying reading these, so we're gonna keep doing it. Isabel. Reach out. You see a lush forest, quiet and dark in the early morning light. This woman walks through the trees, a captivated look on her face. She doesn't appear to have a particular destination in mind as she wanders slowly between the enormous trunks, looking up through the branches and occasionally making a low chirping sound. When a responding chirp echoes through the quiet morning, she turns to head in that direction, obviously not concerned with losing her way. A loud metallic snap, followed by a quick yelp, cuts through the air, and she looks to it, focusing in the direction from which the sound came. She moves toward it, on the verge of running. She seems to realize, suddenly, that caution is important and freezes, looking down, her foot hovering over the pressure plate on a well-hidden bear trap. She leans back and gingerly places her foot back on the ground next to the trap. She looks around, anger darkening her features. Grabbing a nearby branch, she presses down on the plate and disables the trap. When it snaps shut, she hears another yelp, this time much closer. Scanning the ground for more traps, she carefully makes her way toward the trapped animal. Rounding one of the trees, she spies him, a large wolf, bony with malnourishment, right hind leg held tight in the rusty metal teeth. He looks at her, and a low growl starts in the back of its throat. His hackles rise, and she pauses briefly to let him catch her scent. She lowers herself closer to the ground and holds her hands out, palm down, in front of her. "Aren't you a beautiful boy?" She inches toward the wolf. I'm hoping she's going to help the wolf. Poor Wolfie. Alright. So we have... what does this say? The Charred Barrel. I think this is another tavern. Let's go in. Maybe Nia will be in here. That'll be nice. I'm hoping we find her. Somewhere. There is Thristwin. Thristwin. Nobles, Naunton. Naunton. I'm pretty sure Naunton is the guy that we met up in the Wooded Plains? Is that what it was called? No. Oh, what was it called? Valewood? I think it was Valewood. Who had his one friend get killed by a bear. Let's talk to Thristwin first, though. The young elf is dressed in gaudy robes, and he seems ready to cast off. He picks out a heavily brocaded sleeve and continually adjusts the gold chain around his neck. He looks up at you. "Did she send you to run me out of town? You can tell her I'm not going anywhere without that medallion." "I told Cyril I wouldn't let her sell it. If that's what you're here about, then save yourself the trouble." He puffs up his chest, but glances at the exit. Cyril, that's the person we saw in that top room at the Salty Mast. "What are you talking about?" "I'm not after you, but maybe I can help. Just tell me what the problem is. If I were after you, you'd already be oozing pulp under the table. Lucky for you, today's my day off. I'm just here for a drink." He has to be a little bit, I don't know what the word would be. "Luckily for you, today's my day off. I'm just here for a drink." He watches you and hesitates for several seconds. Finally, he gives you a nervous chuckle. "You had me for a moment. I wouldn't put it past her to send someone like you, though." Cyril is a courtesan over at the Salty Mast, and Andra's gift. We've been working together for over a year now. I find a noble with more money than sense, fill him up with liquor, and send him her way. They have a good time, and Cyril takes her fee, and a little extra. He rubs his fingers together. 100 coppers here, a trinket there. It's a bounty for us, but these lords and ladies never notice anything missing. That's dishonest. Go on. No harm done then. You better not try anything with me. Yeah, you better not try to get me drunk then. Relax. We're just talking. Besides, I like to get out of that business. Anyway, we always split the bounty. Until a week ago. He squeezes his lips into a tight frown. She takes a necklace off of some noble. It's an Ingwithan medallion. Damn near priceless. That relic is sacred to my clan, but she won't part with it for any sum I could afford. She tugs at the gold chain around his neck, and even if I wanted to, I can't go home without it. Sagani's brow furrows in pity. It's a hard thing. I'll see about getting the medallion from Cyril. Tell me more about your situation. You're both a couple of cheats, and you're finally getting what you deserve. Good riddance. I don't have time for this right now. Tell me more about your situation. He picks up the hem of his sleeve. What do you want to know? What makes this medallion so important to you? I grew up in Glamfath with the Shattering Spear clan. We Glamfathans have protected Ingwithan ruins for thousands of years. It's the one duty the gods ask of us in exchange for the freedom to live as we please. He fidgets with an emerald ring on his pinky. But treasure hunters looted the ruins in our territory, and we left the wilds we dwelled in for generations. Most of my clan mates scattered to towns around the Direwood and probably live on crusts of bread. He looks at his embroidered robes with disgust. Restoring this medallion to the ruins would earn us the gods' forgiveness. The Shattering Spear could go home. That is all rather fascinating. A single medallion to earn the gods' favor and so return home? It rather reminds me of a story I heard somewhere. Tell me about Cyril. She's a courtesan at the Salty Mast, offering an Andra's gift. She wasn't born to much, but she's done what she has to in order to escape that. He gazes at a string of amber beads around his wrist. He does like to mess with all the expensive stuff he has, huh? She's a good friend. He folds his arms in his trailing, wrinkled sleeves. Without her, I'd probably be living hand to mouth like the rest of the Shattering Spears. But this isn't about her or me. It's about the 40 people in my clan and the way of life we've held to for generations. You seem like you've done well for yourself. He clenches his heavily adorned hands. It was this or scrape by in the gutters like the rest of my clan. But I'd give it all for that medallion. I offered to, but it's worth more than anything I've got, and Cyril knows it. I still don't understand why you can't take your money and return to your Glamfath. He sighs, arching his neatly plucked eyebrows. That's because you're used to looking at things with detachment. A community isn't a place. It's a connection to history and meaning. He makes circles with his wrist. Like an anchor. Defending the ruins for the gods gave us a purpose. Without that, we're adrift. Does this make any sense to you? Yes. He smiles and nods slowly. Then you know what it's like. How to care for something you can't explain. That's all I wanted to ask. So, will you help me get the medallion? I'll see about getting the medallion from Cyril. You'll find her at the Salty Mast. The only way anyone sees her this day is by paying, so they have to go through Maya. He fidgets with his sleeves. But, whatever you do, please don't hurt her. Okay. Sure, I'm sure she'll be amendable. Once we talk to her, we are pretty good at talking to people. The scripts and props belong to a production of the most unfortunate tale of Favia and Bernat. Oop, free beer. Alright, there's Naughton. Begging your pardon. Oh, it's you. It's good to see you well. We had a few rough days here, but then we found this place, and they were kind enough to hire us both. Things have been wonderful. I can't tell you how much we appreciate what you've done. Good for you. Anything else? Nope, it's hard work, but good wages. Can't complain. Okay. Hello, Hannah. Let's see what your soul has for us. You see a woman clad in expensive finery. Her eyes flash as she interrogates a trembling wreck on the ground. Reaching into his pocket, her hand curls around an address, and she smiles grimly. Moments later, she is in a bedraggled alleyway. Yeah, I don't know. Her pace quickening. Her braids trail around a corner, and she is upon them, or perhaps they are upon her. The action does not last as she easily dispenses of man after man, searching their faces, clothes, shouts for something she fails to find. Frustrated, she moves on, but not quickly enough, as an Orlan attacks her from behind, the seal upon his finger glittering with malice. The woman's eyes alight upon it, as she twists to evade his blow, and her eyes burn bright. Perhaps this was not a wasted trip after all. Twip. Alright. And Victar. You see a large group of people, gathered in the common area of a large inn. This man is standing in the midst of the people, engaged in conversation with someone. He is smiling and talking gregariously, moving from person to person with ease. He is able to extract himself from one conversation and insert himself into another without a break in his stride. He kisses the hand of a well-dressed woman, dipping her, then twirling her back into the arms of her escort. He moves on to another group, slapping someone on the back while laughing at a joke, and then he's off again, sliding between people, hugging someone, shaking hands. He never stops. Finally, he seems to have hit his limit, and he excuses himself from the gathering, much to the dismay of everyone there. That's me when I'm at a party. Everybody wants me there. He smiles and waves as he leaves, making a little bow with a flourish of the hand as he closes the door. I'm just kidding. At a party, I'm a bump on a log. I'm so boring. I just enjoy the atmosphere, and I just kind of sit there. Not great. Once he is away from the inn and around a corner, he pulls several objects from a concealed pocket in his jacket. He looks at each one in turn. A necklace, a brooch, a couple of coin pouches, and a small jewel. Smiling, he pours the money into his palm and quickly counts it, still aimlessly wandering the streets. He passes a beggar who holds out a bowl to him, pleading for a pittance. The man stops, smiles at the beggar, and drops all the coins into his bowl. Then he walks off, whistling happily. Oh, so he's like a Robin Hood kind of character. Nice. Good for you, Victor. Anybody back here? Just the cook? The oven smells of roast game, hen, and baking bread. Delicious. Let's go downstairs. Bandits. Just having a little chat with my associates. Okay. The proprietor has collected a respectable variety of bottles from around the world, from tart Adir reds to sweet summer wines of Rawatai. Flasks of the infamous Soul Burn of the Deadfire Archipelago are nestled next to crystal clear Nasataki and Glenfellan spirits. Soul Burn. We'll have to remember that when we go to the Archipelago in the next game. See if we see any of that. Pale yellow and deep amber whiskies from the Deerwood and the Living Lands rest side by side. Sounds like a pretty good collection here. Though we couldn't buy anything. The bartender would not serve us, unfortunately, even though we know her. Oh, I guess there's this guy. Abelhart.
Good day, stranger.
There we go. Abelhart Skirian. The man is dressed in neat but functional clothes. His sun-wrinkled skin and limber musculature reflect a life spent in the wilderness. Well met. What brings you to the Charred Barrel? Is this your place? It's my retirement, he thumps the bar. Used to be a warehouse back when Brackenbury saw more ship traffic, but it fell out of use when the area became mostly residential. I inherited it from some great uncle who never had any luck pawning it off on my cousins. Now it's the most popular spot in Brackenbury. The nobles come to unwind, and kith from other districts come to mingle. He leans closer. We get a few rough types too, but they behave in here. Besides, their coin's as good as anyone else's. And who are you? I was a cartographer for the Duke for decades. He rubs his neatly stubbled cheek. Crossed the White March half a dozen times and mapped most of the ruins of Thean Bog. You know, if I lived in a time when, cartographers were extremely valuable, as in, we didn't already have a map of the world and all that stuff, I think it would be a really cool profession to go around and map the world. I think it'd be really fun. He grins, flashing a gold tooth. I actually don't know if cartographer is like a profession still. I suppose it is too. I suppose it has to be, but you probably use more like GPS electronic devices or something, I don't know. To sort of do it. Anyway, a good career, but one suited to younger men. When I came back to Defiance Bay for good, was it Cliver or Cleaver? It was Cleaver. And a few other friends in the Knights helped me get the rights to refurbish this place. There's strong ale, quality entertainment, and a fresh sea breeze. He raises a mug. What more could a man want? Show me your menu. What do you got? Dragon meat dish. We've seen that before, right? Did we see dragon meat? I know we saw dragon eggs, and there was another dragon thing, but was it a dish or was it just dragon meat? I think it might have just been dragon meat. Damn, that's a really good one, isn't it? Super expensive, though. Dragon egg dish. Yeah, so these are the dishes where before we just saw the ingredients. Cool. Maybe if we ever get super rich, we'll buy these things. Alright. Let's go check upstairs. Nobles. Pirates. Some souls to read. 3 souls to read. My goodness. Mort du Geste. You see a group of children shouting, twisted laughter erupting from 2 small mouths. An eyeless boy, face grown over with strange black tusks, cowers against a log. His small shoulders shake as he whispers to himself, trying to block out the relentless trail of insults. Freak, monster, deathhead. The boy stays long after the other children leave. That's sad. I feel like Clessia would really relate to that, although she's not a death godkin. You see the same eyeless boy, now a man, many years later. Another group crowds him, but this time it's an audience. He tells a long joke about a ghost in a privy, and by the time he reaches the punchline, the crowd is yelling, starting to sound very much like the first. Interesting. I don't know if that means he's a good comedian or a bad comedian. Colossus. You see a pair of chain gloves sitting on a table between 2 men. The gloves are inlaid with gold runes and glow with a faint blue aura. The man stands on one side of the table, and across from him is another man dressed in arcane robes. The man retrieves a small pouch and hands it to the wizard, telling him to count it to ensure his entire payment is there. The wizard smiles, giving the man a half bow, and then empties the pouch into his hand. You wanted these gloves protected from thieves and other unsavory characters, he says, dropping the coins piece by piece back into the bag. Put them on, and they will never leave you. The man slowly slips his hands into the gloves, a look of satisfaction on his face. His smile falters a little once they're on his hands. The gloves flash briefly, and then start making a light metallic tinkling sound. The look of satisfaction quickly becomes one of concern, and he grabs at the gloves, trying to pull them from his hands. His fingers tug at the openings, but they have shrunk, trapping his hands inside. The metal begins to work its way into his skin, small drops of blood appearing on the surface of the gloves. The man drops to his knees, fighting with them and crying in pain. The gloves constrict until they have completely shrunk around the man's hands, becoming one with his flesh. The man looks in horror at his hands, then up at the wizard, who has finished counting his money and is standing at the door. You certainly won't be losing them now, he says, stepping to the door, slamming it behind him, leaving the man on the floor staring at his hands. Jesus! Why was that necessary? Damn wizards, can't trust them. Hey, Alof, get out of here. Ileana, Renault, reach out. You see a woman sway, her voice floating gloriously above the court, lilting and sweet. It twists around them, and they smile, enraptured as she palms their hearts one by one. She begins to dance, but something in her step is offbeat. She pauses, confused, a snatch of some foreign sound in the air. Competing, resisting. It takes her a moment to spot him, a small man with a single brow, chanting under his breath, disrupting her song with his staccato incantation. She intensifies the dance, the swing of her hips wider, her feet a flicker above the square tile ground. The underlying chant in her own song, more persuasive. His lips twist intently, vibrating with the effort of countering her charm, and then, a note crystal clear, bright and tinkling, he begins to smile dazedly at her song as her song continues, and he forgets all about resisting. She has won the day and the court. Good for you, Ileana.
All right, then.
Oh, what's this? The map of the Direwood and Irglanfath appears to predate the discovery of some of the ruins in the east. It's signed by the cartographer, a Scarian. Oh, it's one of his maps. Cool. Hello, Merwith. Merwith watches you through coal-rimmed eyes. She puts her hand on the hilt of her blade, jangling the jewels that hang from her wrist. We don't know each other, stranger. Best we keep it that way. What brings you to the Charred Barrel? Merwith raises an eyebrow. What's it look like? Good wine and a little peace and quiet. She flips a copper coin with her thumb. and Skirian doesn't ask too many questions. You don't seem like a Blackberry local. I'm a sailor, she gives you a half smile, and a liberator of certain goods. Mare with casually fingers a large earring. And the nice thing about the snobs here is that they're usually too polite to ask more. I'll be going then. Another map. This map charts routes through the White March. Ooh, DLC. What do I have here? An exemetal water jug fashioned from white clay. And free money. Woo! Okay, and we are finished here. I think we just have one more building to check out, and then we are done with Brackenbury, and that means we are done with exploration. We do still need to read the souls of the people in First Fires, but other than that, we are done exploring, which is going to be nice. We'll be able to actually focus on our quests and stuff. Speaking of quests, we've spent 7 hours here already. Jesus. This is the last place, right? Yes. Raymont Manor. Might not even have much to do here. We didn't have much to do in the other manors. Hello. Raymont servant. Don't mind me. We're just walking around. Stealing. The labels all perfectly angled outward. Boast of an array of fine vintages. However, they're all coated in dust. Lynette Raymont. Father never reads to me. He's always busy with his own books. Yeah. Damn fathers. They're the worst. I'm just kidding. Well, unless you had a bad father, then I guess I'm not kidding. But we're not going to talk about that. The ledger lists quantities of wheat, copper, and wire wool. A deep crease along the spine suggests that the book never closes.
Good day, stranger.
Lord Raymont holds a shipping manifest in his well-manicured hands. Despite his expensive clothes, he has the sallow complexion and restless air of a man who devotes all his days and most of his nights to work. If you have business to discuss, make an appointment with my attendant. I don't have time for unexpected visitors. I don't care. Tell me about yourself. He snaps the pages in his hands. I am the lord of this house, and not prone to idle chatter. If you have no business here, I suggest you be off. He doesn't look up from his papers. Well, fine then. Best be off. Okay. Sprigs of dried lavender and rosemary infuse the kitchen with a fresh aroma. The skins are too bright and red. It looks as if someone has taken the time to polish each fruit individually. Interesting. A waste of time for a servant. Maybe they just don't have anything else to do, though. Anything upstairs? Raymont servant. The old serving woman regards you with bleary eyes. Begging your pardon, but I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to return downstairs. Visitors aren't permitted on the upper floor. Attack. I'm not going anywhere. Get out of my way. Go back downstairs. That's fine. And there we go. That is it. So now we're going to head back to Catanua. Oh, and it's daytime outside. One day, 7 hours left to go. What is it they're saying? It was an interesting show. That's all I can really say. Come on, you can tell me more. Just one thing, please. Sorry. I promised Gatterman. Let's not talk about this here, alright? Hey, I wasn't gonna, you can trust me. Okay. Back to Catanua. It's gonna take 22 hours and 27 minutes. We don't have time to rest either. Hopefully it's not that big of a battle, because we're actually kind of injured, aren't we? Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's actually not good.
It's very nice.
Speak to the palace messenger
here,
at Catanua. We're probably going to sleep here. Prestigious visitor. 10 hours remaining. We could probably sleep then. 10 hours is enough to sleep, right? I think we only sleep for 8 hours. Let's go talk to the prestigious visitor first. Hopefully that doesn't take 2 hours. We're really cutting it close here. Prestigious visitor. Palace messenger. I bear a message from the Ducal Palace. Pardon the intrusion, my lady. Chancellor Warren urgently requests that you meet him at the Charred Barrel in Brackenbury. Is it about Cadnua again? I don't know. My apologies, my lady. I am merely a messenger. We remember who Chancellor Warren is. Why isn't the Chancellor meeting me at the palace? Perhaps the Chancellor is meeting with you in an unofficial capacity. It happens from time to time. I'll meet him when I can. The messenger bows and leaves. Okay. Nice bit of experience there. 10 hours left. We're going to rest. No bonuses. Rest. There we go. 8 hours have passed. 1 hour remaining. Perfect. Manual resolve. Who dares attack my castle? I'll make them suffer. Oh, wow. Hello. Wow, what a start.
Eh?
I wasn't expecting that.
I'm stuck over here.
Fire. Holy Radiance. Let's have you do a heal. Right there. Good.
Yes.
You attack.
Eh?
You need to be attacking them too.
Lovely.
Okay. Ayla. Attack him. You keep attacking him. Good. Alright, they're all dead. Go to this guy. Good. All of you attack him now. There we go. Was that it? That wasn't so bad. Hopefully there's not more.
It's very nice. We're not sleeping here, are we?
Aloth, one day you're going to love this place. I guarantee it. Are we still building something right now? Yeah, finished in 2 days, 3 hours. Okay. Alright, well, we're good to go. Loot this place. And, okay. Did we get any experience for that? No. Oh well. We have defended Cadnua. Woo! Alright, let's go back to Copper Lane. And we're gonna go back to the Goose and Fox and see if Nia is there. If she's not there, I don't really know where she's at. If she's not there, maybe we'll finish off the episode by reading the souls in First Fire, because we don't have time to start any other quest, I don't think. At least at the moment. They're still protesting out here, huh? Nia, are you here? Wasn't there there was somebody else we needed to talk to here, wasn't there? We were delivering something for the Valian merchant, I believe. There's Gareth. I think this was the guy. A man skulks near the bar. He seems like he's trying to blend in with the wood paneling, and he watches the other patrons out of the corner of his eye. He gives you a quick nod as you approach. Verzano has a delivery for you. He glances around and snatches the pouch from you. Keep your voice down, will you? The Dominels have spies everywhere. He tucks the pouch away. You tell Verzano, this is the last time I'm buying from him. This is getting too dangerous for me. Did I just do something illegal? No? He grins weakly. I don't think I've heard of the Dominels. Well, we definitely have. What do the Dominels have to do with this? You have no idea, do you? Let's just say the Dominels have, exclusive rights to trade certain merchandise within the city. Verzano likes to make some extra coin from time to time by dealing in the same merchandise. undercutting the competition, he says. Tell me what was in that pouch. Bitter squash seeds. They interrupt pregnancies. Even though they're not exactly legal, many folk nowadays prefer them to the risk of hollowborn, or celibacy. He pulls a wry frown. Are we done? Yeah, we're done. Now get out of here before. Uh-oh. Nice hat. A woman swaggers in, her polished boots thwacking the floor with slow, deliberate steps. A crooked sneer warps her smooth face. Gareth, I'm hurt. You promised to buy only from me. What's a girl to think? Gareth bows, his knees knocking together. Please, my lady, I was just explaining that I don't do business with anyone else. Except this one last time, right? Donna crosses her arms and rocks back on her heels. There's always one more deal. Until you run out of credit, that is. Donna turns and regards you, looking you up and down. And just who are you? You don't exactly look like a seed dealer. Aloth glanced at Gareth. I think that's a compliment. Just making a delivery. No one to be trifled with. Leave me out of this. I was just making a delivery. Verzano put you up to this, didn't he? That old fool's on a sinking ship, and he's determined to drag anyone who gets close enough down with him. She eyes the trembling Gareth. Gareth here knew better, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. In fact, I'll also give you a chance to get even with the imbecile who's been playing us both. She narrows her eyes. What do you say to killing Verzano? Why would I want to do that? Why wouldn't you? He's used you to do his dirty work, without telling you anything about what you were carrying, or who you were crossing. She taps a finger to her jaw, and her voice slows. Of course, I'd also consider it a personal favor, and House Dominel is never stingy with its friends. She glances at Gareth. The loyal ones, anyway. Tell me about the Dominels. I don't know whether to be relieved or insulted. We're one of the wealthiest merchant families in Defiance Bay. Let's just say, however, that some of our business practices are not officially sanctioned. Gareth groans and stifles a sob. Uh-oh. I'll do it. I'll decide his fate when I talk to him again. Alright, I'll do it. What if I kill you instead? Let's decide his fate when we talk to him again. You better make up your mind quickly, because we're going to pay him his dues, one way or another. Just make sure you stay out of our way. Okay. So there are the Dominels. Return to Verzano and Andre's gift. Will do. And hopefully, well, I guess Gareth is gone. Okay. Is she in here? Nia. Oh, Nia. We're never going to find Nia, are we? I'm going to have to look it up. There's an actor and a merchant. There's Brad. She's not in here. Where would she be? She's not upstairs, is she? Nope, she's not there. She's not in there. Not in here. Not in there. And not in there. Okay, she's not here. Well, let's go ahead, buy a room for the night, and we'll end the episode then. And tomorrow, in the next episode, we'll be, I think we're going to go down to the catacombs and to the Temple of Wotica. Do that quest, the main quest.
How do you do?
Now that we've explored everything. Can I get a room? Let's see, since we're going to be going to the main quest, let's buy the best room we can get, which is this one. Plus 2 dexterity, that's very good. Plus 1 to survival, and 10 defense when disengaging. This one's pretty good too. Ranged accuracy, but I think the intellect's probably, or the dexterity's probably better. Yep, Vixen's Burrow. Let's rest. Security report that Bleak Hollow bandits will attack the stronghold in 4 days. Not again. Okay, well, we got another time limit, but it should be fine. And our thing's almost done. 23 hours. The south curtain wall. Fantastic. That's where we're going to end this episode, guys. Next one, like I said, we're going to go down into the catacombs and check out the Temple of Wotica. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.